Hi, guys.
Hi.
Welcome. We're going to do a quick introduction, then we'll jump into our actual podcast recording. But
Yes.
I'm Hannah. My romance big three.
Yes.
Because why not, right? We're in a romance bookstore. My moon is Happy Place by Emily Henry. Sun is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. And then Rising is 7 Year Slip by Ashley Poston.
Love that. She took she took Just for the Summer from me, so I picked different. I'm Britt. My romance big three, my moon is Savor It by Tara DeWitt. My sun is Play Along by Liz Tom 40. I am an Isaiah Rhodes girl to my core. And then my rising sign is Enchanter by Kaylee Smith. I'm so sorry, Carolyn. I'm so incredibly sorry.
What?
She just told me she will not be finishing Phantasma. My heart shattered a little bit. So it's fine. We can still be friends. We're fine. We're totally cool. Listen, I respect it.
That's fair.
So if you guys have not listened to the podcast before, we basically just yap constantly about books. But our main thing is that we pick songs that relate to the book. And then we dissect our lyrics alongside of it. So the plan is to kind of go through like an actual recording. This is going to be our release episode on Wednesday if the audio and everything holds up well. If not, congratulations, you get a super special bonus episode that no one will ever hear. And then we're gonna have a section at the end too, like questions for you guys. Has anyone read Soul Searching yet? Okay, we got a few people. Perfect. We talk about it in here as well, but we will be talking about pieces of the plot, but we don't like dive deep into it. Our old podcast we rebranded. We used to dive beat by beat and record 2 to 4 hours at a time, upwards of 7. We don't do that anymore.
We're not going to hold you guys hostage.
We're not going to. We just like to have fun and talk about books as a whole. We are by no means an expert on this book. We just read for the vibes. So if you've read it, if we missed something, like bring it up later, like a moment you want to talk about. If you have a song choice, just like let us know. But we're just here. We're here for the vibes. Here to have fun.
Yes.
Is there anything else?
No, I think you covered it.
Right. Are you going to start the recording officially?
I already did.
Oh, cool. Great. So glad.
I didn't want to forget. Brett usually handles the recording side, so I didn't want to forget. So
perfect. You ready to get started?
Woo.
All right. So welcome to The Other Side of the Page, a bookish podcast where we yap about the books we love.
And the songs that give us main character energy.
We're here to sift through the chaos that is our TBR.
And to tell you why a book whoa. This happens all the time. I cannot talk. And to let you know why a book might just be your next favorite read.
I'm Britt, dramatic plot twist lover and champion for MMCs needing to be more pathetic and down bad.
And I'm Hannah, reader of at least 5 books at once and a detailed fantasy map enthusiast.
Every Wednesday, press play on a brand new bookish episode.
Stay up to date with the books that we will be covering by following us on social media at Other Side of the Page Pod over on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Threads.
Yes. And then don't forget to follow, rate, and review the podcast a shining 5 stars on your preferred platform because it helps us so much with visibility.
And today we are coming to you live from Mon Coeur Books in Canton, Michigan. Let's hear it for the bookstore.
Woo! Yes, we are so excited to be here yapping about Lyla Sage's newest release, Soul Searching. So this paranormal Western romance was a ton of fun. And if you've never listened to the podcast or seen what we're about, we'll each be picking a song, dissecting our favorite lyrics, moments, quotes, and taking you on a journey through Sweetwater Peak. So grab an iced coffee,
or iced chai,
maybe some apple cider, and let's turn the page together.
All right, dear reader, we're going to start with the official synopsis off the back of the book. Collins Cartwright does not want to go home. Sweetwater Peak, Wyoming was supposed to be in her rearview mirror. But when she finds out a developer is trying to buy her parents' antique shop out from under them, she doesn't have a choice, at least that's what she tells her family. They don't need to know that she's lost her job and is out of money, or that the ghosts who have always been her companions have recently gone silent. But just because she's returned home doesn't mean she has to stay with her parents or crash on her twin sister's couch. Lucky for her, the new-to-town upholsterer has room for rent above his store. Unluckily, it's absolutely crawling with more ghosts who are freezing her out. And Collins hates being ignored. Brady Cooper is absolutely and totally fine. Seriously, there's no reason why he decided to uproot his life and suddenly move to Sweetwater Peak. He just needed a change of pace, at least that's what he tells himself and everyone else. When he agrees to let the elusive Collins Cartwright stay in his spare room, he doesn't know that she's absolutely bonkers. That's for the people in the audience. I don't know. That's like my best friend. She's like my roommate for so long. So,
excuse me.
Yeah.
quiet in the audience, please?
Little down by there. There's no one. Yeah, it's meant to be. I'll just read to you. When he agrees to let the elusive Collins Cartwright stay in his spare room, he doesn't know that she's absolutely bonkers, constantly talking to herself and having conversations with no one, and he doesn't know that she looks like that. But as soon as they begin to get closer, the lines between them start to blur, leaving both of them and the ghosts of them pushing them together, wondering whether their temporary arrangement could be something more permanent.
Oh,
Beautiful.
it is.
All right. And while that's the official synopsis, the short and sweet reason why we think that you should read it if you have not is if you want to experience small town charm with a side of ghosts and a dash of family drama.
Yes. And then you might want to avoid this book if any of the following are potentially triggering for you. Ghosts. There are ghosts in this book. Small towns. I don't know your life. If small towns bother you, don't read this one. Job loss, death, car accident, sexual content, murder, mental illness, adult language, animal death. It wasn't like a pet or anything super tragic, but just, be warned. So, all right. Are you ready for our favorite part of the pod?
Yes.
So we're going to reveal our song choices, and we are Swifties, but we don't always pick Taylor Swift songs. So case in point today, Hannah did not, but I surely did. So Hannah, what song did you pick?
I picked Love You for a Long Time by Maggie Rogers. Does anybody know that song? Anybody Maggie Rogers fan? No? All right. Go out and listen to it. It is great. It's a great song.
You got this. And I have no recency bias whatsoever in this song choice, and I did pick The Fate of Ophelia by Taylor Swift. There was no ulterior motives. I didn't want to wear this to coordinate with my song choice. It's totally fine.
Yeah. It's a good one. It's good in general too.
Yeah. It makes sense for the book. Like if you've read it, I feel like it makes sense. So we're moving into like the meat of the podcast now, what we call our pages turned and bridges burned section. So we're going to be discussing this book cover to cover, like we said. Spoilers are ahead. Nothing too in-depth, though, on this one. But we're going to start with our theme lyrics from our song and then explain briefly why exactly we ended up picking them. So do you want to tell us your theme lyric?
Yes. So since none of you heard it, I'll read the entire lyrics of the song. Just kidding. I will not do that.
Right now.
I will
we're
sing
just
it for
gonna...
you. No. But the first lyric of the song is why I picked it. And it goes, came in like a vision from the old west wind, like a bright new dream that I was stepping in. And one, it's like an old west town, the ghost town. And with that, but both Collins and Brady are kind of walking into this new dream and this new life. And where Collins is coming back home, she's also rediscovering who she is now after everything that happened to her and with her relationship with Brady. So it's just, the song itself is like a great romance novel vibe as well. I had the lucky time. I was the honor of hearing the song live at Coachella with Maggie Rogers there and like the mountains. So it just kind of brings back like a really good memory too for this.
Love that. My theme lyric that I ended up choosing was, and if you'd never come for me, I might have drowned in the melancholy. I swore my loyalty to me, myself, and I right before you lit my sky up. The reason that I picked this is I think it encompasses both Brady and Collins. Why are you in direct line of sight for both of us? If you could just like duck down. No. I think this encompasses Brady and Collins in two very different ways. So Brady is escaping to Sweetwater Peak because of a former relationship crumbling. He left his place of employment, didn't really like the vibes of the company. And this was a fresh start that he saw. He saw some photographs of it. Now, Collins is escaping her life, and she's forced to go back to Sweetwater Peak. So she's losing her job. There's misogyny in the workplace she's experienced. She feels inadequate in comparison to the dreams of her family. So both of them are kind of drowning in melancholy together, but in two very different ways. They're on two different paths. And also, too, like the fate of Ophelia is from Hamlet, and Ophelia descends into madness. And so for them to kind of like scoop them up, there's a lot of references to death, which I thought was kind of fitting for like the ghosts in the book, too, and that kind of paranormal aspect. So we'll talk a little bit more about like how lyrics relate later, but we're going to start by talking about the actual like cover of the book itself, because I do think the cover is stunning.
Yeah, if you have not seen the cover, that is the beautiful cover. For other series, like the Rubber Blue Ranch series, I only picked it up because of the covers, because I thought they were pretty, because, they say don't judge a book by its cover, but we have to.
Always.
But the guy in this one, I don't know if anybody else knows who KJ Apa is from Riverdale. So I thought Can you hold up your book? So
yes,
my
sorry.
hands are, I'm like referencing it.
Hi.
I thought he kind of looked like KJ Appa. And then is anybody on Mr. Fantasy TikTok? Yeah.
Oh, good.
Hey,
We knew
one person. I was like,
person.
so now all I think about, like, when I see this is like Mr. Fantasy, because you know that's who. You guys will have to look up Mr. Fantasy TikTok if you know KJ Appa's, but
Yep.
that's who I kept picturing throughout the book, and
Yeah.
you know, nothing like Brady.
Nothing like Brady
nothing
at
like
all.
Brady, but
Nothing like Brady.
it was there.
Yeah.
Anything else about the cover?
No, we're good.
All right. So let's set the scene. Sweetwater Peak, Wyoming.
Sweetwater Peak.
Collins describes it really well, I think, in the book. So there's a quote, and she says, Sweetwater Peak is a town built on chipped paint and cigarette butts and things that go bump in the night. It's also fluffy white clouds and saltwater taffy and mountain breezes. And, you know, when you're on a road trip and you, like, pass through a small town and you're like, who would live here, right? Like, you see the chip paint and everything, but the people that live there see the memories that they have, and that's where they grew up. That's their town, and that's how I pictured Sweetwater Peak with that.
Yeah. And I know she describes Sweetwater Peak. So has anyone read the Rebel Blue Ranch series? We got our girl. We actually went to the Lyla Sage event that was at Schuler's Books. So she was explaining a little bit about like this world and stuff. And this is set about 2 hours outside of where Rebel Blue Ranch is. And so this Sweetwater Peak, when she was making it, it's not a through town necessarily. You have to specifically go there. Like there's only one way in, one way out. Which is like, and it's definitely a ghost town the way that she describes it, kind of that small town vibes. Like, have you been to like any town similar to that? Like, I know I've passed through a few, but
so I lived in Arizona for 9 years, and has anyone been to Jerome, Arizona, or heard of it? Thanks, but it's a she's a paid. We paid her to be here. But so Jerome, Arizona, to get up there, you have to like wind up the road, and it's a ghost town from like with the gold rush out in, you know, out west. And so that's what it reminded me of. Like, and they have a place up there. If you ever go, it's cool. It's a cool little town. But there's a haunted hamburger is like the restaurant that's up there, and they have really good milkshakes. But that's what I pictured for this, because they have still all the old west buildings, and
yeah,
you know, there's houses there. People live there. It's their home. But
yeah,
winding up there, went up there in like a big expedition, like going. It's not fun.
That doesn't sound fun. But I will say, I think that the setting was very fitting for like the atmosphere that she was going for. Like the town kind of fit the vibe of the book and the overall aesthetic she was going for. And it still had that like small town charm that Meadowlark, Wyoming has in the other series. But we have our main characters, Collins, and we have Brady. And so obviously we all read romance, right? We're here, we read romance. So there are a lot of like really fun meet cutes that people have had in books. But what Collins and Brady has is a meet disaster, which I think are even more fun sometimes. So basically Collins is heading back home where she surely does not want to be. She is over it already before she even gets there. She ends up stranded on the side of the road, which is very much like that winding experience. And she's prepared to defend herself at all costs.
And yeah, and she's like sitting there like, I'll just wait here till the store, like till somebody else drives by. She doesn't like call her sister or her family. She does not.
Yeah. Like she literally has a twin sister she could call to come get her mom and dad. Like she knows people in this town. She's just stubborn and does not want to. But Brady, the guy who's letting her live, you know, above the upholsterer, comes up to her car window with her sister. And she may or may not just immediately spray him with mace. Full to the face.
That's like me.
Which, like, very trigger happy. You know, they like Clark made a joke with her that like this happened again. Like she's definitely done this before.
Her sister's boyfriend. Like
yes.
to her sister's past boyfriends.
Yes.
Too.
But I think that a meat disaster kind of gives like really funny footing to start off on. Especially in a book. This one was a little more like somber compared to her other writing, just with the town, the ghosts, the characters. But I really liked the meat disaster versus like a standard meet cute situation.
Yeah, because they were already like living together. So like I thought that was just going to be when they met to become roommates.
Yes.
So it was kind of fun to have them meet outside of that.
Yeah. And then like she goes to basically, you know, move in temporarily at this place. And he's like, his eyes are still red. He's like very stressed out. And Brady's like a very like mild mannered person. Mm-hmm. And then you have Collins who has like tattoos and piercings and a little bit rougher on the exterior, and their contrast was really nice. as we were reading through the book.
Yeah. So Collins comes home. She's a professional photographer. So she had just like had this big job and then she lost it. And so she's really coming home. She knows because she's out of money, lost her job. It's like I have nowhere else to turn except coming back home. But it's under the guise of helping the family business. So a developer is trying to buy out their family antique store and a couple other properties that they have.
Yeah. And then, so there's like a quote that she has here that like kind of gives a little more insight to kind of Colin's like state of mind. Because she kind of feels like a failure coming home. Like, and she does not want to tell her family she lost her job. She does not want to like admit that to them. Especially because it was like her dream job, like something she worked really, really hard for. But it says it came from a place of fear, not from a place of wanting more. And she's kind of talking to Clark about becoming friends with Brady and how she hasn't ever really made friends quickly. And her sister describes Collins as like a chameleon. And so it kind of gives an idea to who Collins is. She can kind of adapt and mold to any situation that she's in. What's really cool is that this is dual POV. And I know some people don't love dual POV. I am a little slut for dual POV. I want to see the man's thoughts. Like, I want to know how much he loves this girl and like how desperate he is to get her. And immediately, I think it's the first Brady chapter, first or second, he's like, I've never been able to talk to someone this quickly. Like, I've never been able to do this. And I'm like, oh, really? Interesting, Brady. We love that for you. But he's very like, she even calls him boring Brady because he's like so just like calm. And I mean, who's an upholsterer? Like, who goes to a small town to become an upholsterer, please?
Somebody that's pretty boring.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, they're just on two very different journeys, but they're kind of starting from scratch. And I also like, we find out very quickly too that Collins just like cannot speak to these ghosts. Like, her and her sister can talk to ghosts. Like, they can see them, they see orbs, they talk to them. And as her life became more stressful when she lost her job, her ability kind of got cut off. And so she also wants to rediscover her ability to talk to ghosts. But the only person who knows that she can speak to ghosts is Clark. And she's never told this to anyone else.
Yep. So let's talk about the title of the book.
Oh, yeah.
How do you feel that the title fit the book? Do you think it fit well? Is there anything?
Yeah, I feel like Soul Searching was a good one for this because, one, there's the literal sense that like she's actually searching for like ghost souls to like reconnect with, but also her and Brady are both like kind of at a rock bottom starting over, right? I think that, like I said at the beginning, they're on two very different journeys. Like, they have the rock bottom of like losing her job. Brady was engaged, or was he engaged? Or yeah, they were actually engaged. And so broke off the engagement, and we find out too a little bit down the line that like the company that's trying to buy out the business was the company that Brady used to work for and that his ex-fiance works for, and it's her family that runs the company. So there are a lot of like kind of weird, shady business practices happening. And so he was trying to escape that side of it. And I think both of them are searching for something. They're, searching for a purpose. And the fact that they found each other in it is really cool, but they were definitely looking for something specific. I just don't think Collins knew that's what she was looking for necessarily.
Yeah, and I think there's another good quote too about that is Collins says like she was existing behind a dirty window, that she could see her life, but she couldn't feel it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's both like Collins and Brady before they came to Sweetwater Peak, is like they were going through the motions, they were like moving forward, but they weren't really getting anywhere.
Yeah.
So them coming back is kind of that soul searching and, just coming back home, and Brady like finding that somewhere where he was in a relationship he didn't want to be in for 7 years. And now finding somebody that he wants to be with.
Because you were in Arizona for years in total, was it?
So I was in Arizona for 9 years. So like coming home too, and where I didn't appreciate like my small little town that I grew up in, when I moved. But now coming back, I'm like, oh, it's so cute. Like, this is so fun. And now like I have a daughter and like doing things. And I feel like that's where I resonated with Collins. Like, coming back home, you start to appreciate it more once you've like seen other places. You're like, oh, actually, I do like this. Oh, this is so fun. And she talks about how she has like a complicated relationship with Sweetwater Peak.
Yeah.
And I just felt like we sometimes don't appreciate what we have right in front of us. So we kind of go out and then we come back with it.
For sure. And then in the book too, there's kind of this like overarching theme of seeking closure, like how Collins came home, Brady is running from his ex. As you guys can see, the themes are pretty consistent throughout. And like, this is a book that's more character driven than it is plot driven. Like, there's not, to be completely honest, there's not a whole lot of stuff that happens. It is more of like an emotional arc that they go through. But I think that there's like a few pieces of closure too. Like, obviously we get Collins coming home, but Brady like even talks about his ex with Collins, and there's kind of this expectation of this like kind of almost emotional like turmoil or blow up, and like she handles it very like very chill about it, very casual. And I think too, like one of the lyrics that I had was the pledge allegiance to your hands, your team, your vibes. Don't care where the hell you've been, because now you're mine. And even though Brady's ex does end up having ties to the business that's trying to take over Toads, it's super on brand with the fact that like Collins is like, I understand that you had a life before me. Because I think sometimes in romance books, we've talked about this before, like we do need drama, right? You know, people get upset about stuff and they're like, oh, well, I can't believe you've been with blah, blah, blah. But it's like everyone has experienced a life before they get with someone else, right? They've all had experiences. And I think that the way that she handled this was like done in a really mature, like very commendable sort of way, where she's like, okay, you had an ex-fiance, like now you're here, like that part of your life is done. And so when I saw the line like, don't care where the hell you've been, because now you're mine, I just love that it was like a little more cavalier and a little less of like the, I can't believe you've had this, like you've been with someone, I can't believe you've done this. And again, I live for the drama, so I love a good, you know, drama moment every now and again, but I think it would have felt really out of place if Collins had like a super emotional reaction to that. Which I think also gave Brady a good amount of closure when it came to his ex.
Yeah, having the way she handled the situation. And
Yes,
everything.
totally.
And then there's like a couple ghosts too that have some fun like closure moments as well. That well, we'll just skip ahead and talk the paranormal side.
Let's go paranormal.
Those of you that read the book, do you wish there was more ghosts in the book?
Yeah, I want more ghosts. I want it like, if you're gonna tell me she can talk to ghosts, and I know that her connection's cut off, I understand that, I get it. I just want to go. I want more ghosts. Like, if you're gonna tell me it's a paranormal romance, like, give me more. Now, okay. I know people have like different feelings with the paranormal too, and different vibes. Like, it is a known fact that Hannah, like,
I hate scary movies. I hate scary movies, but I will read the worst horror books and like thrillers,
which is really confusing considering that you're in them for like double, triple, quadruple the time.
But I hate scary movies. Haunted houses, no. But give me the best horror book, I will read it, devour it.
Which I love. I also am like, if you don't believe in the paranormal, totally fine. But I'm telling you, I've had some weird shit happen to me. Okay, I've always been attracted to the paranormal. Like, they've always like come to me, weird experiences, all throughout my life. So anytime there's someone that like can connect with the spirit world, I get super like intrigued by it. So this was the one thing that I would like, please, like, give me the ghost. But I'm hoping, because if you guys didn't know, this is also going to be a duology. So we have another book coming out that's going to follow her sister Clark. And I'm hoping, because the ghost connection is back, we're going to have more ghosts around too. Like, that's
Clark's connection always stayed.
Yes, Clark's connection has always been there. Also, side note for those that have read it, Lyla Sage said on Threads that there is a hint for book 2's title in here. Like, she dropped book 2's title in here. It's an alliteration. It's 2 words. I've been scouring and I cannot find it. So if anyone finds it, please let us know, because I'm very curious. And also, no one spilled the beans. I looked on Reddit. I looked on Thread. No one. I'm like, someone had to have found it. Why is no one telling me?
People read it and then probably saw it. So it's like, oh,
Probably.
I don't want to reread it.
I'm
so those of you that haven't read it and are going to read it, look for it for us.
Yes, I'm curious. But yeah, she said it's the only, like, one of the only alliterations that are in there. So it should stand out. Yeah, I'm just hoping that we get, more ghosts in the next one. But I did love, like, Ernest. I love the those pieces that we did get. And I really liked that she became more confident in herself and her path, like the stronger her connection became.
So one cool thing about Collins's work as a photographer is why her pieces are so good is because she also like photographs like with the ghosts, and the ghosts like tell the story about the scene and the place and give that history. So when she's taking those pictures, it's not just of like a lamp. It'd be like the person sitting with the lamp. And so that's what makes her photography so great and so heartfelt and everything.
Yeah. And only she knows, obviously, like who else is in that picture. But Brady kind of described it as like you can feel like an energy coming off of it, but you just can't see it. And I did love, like, she was low-key a little mean to Brady, which I'm not mad at. I thought it was kind of funny, but she took him to like this abandoned, like fully haunted house. And that's where she kind of like, she starts to open up about her abilities, her lack of abilities that she's been having. And I think Brady severely underreacted to the ghosts.
Yeah, he was just chill.
He was like,
all right.
fine. You know, I was rereading parts of it to make sure that like it was fresh up in here. And he just was like, Collins keeps looking over my shoulder at something. And I'm like, if I were Brady, I would have been like, what the
But I also,
what are you looking at?
But he also talks about like reading Lord of the Rings and everything. So maybe he's like a fantasy like book guy. So he's like, okay.
Yeah, but like, if you're a fantasy book guy, you're going to be looking at like, something's beyond. If you were looking over my shoulder this whole time.
But he's in love with Colin, so he's going to just focus on her. Like, sure, just tell me more.
Yeah. I do fear that he underreacted to the ghosts.
That's fair.
You know, it's fine though. It's totally fine. But speaking of Brady though, he is a very mild-mannered person. Which is kind of fun to read because a lot of, I wouldn't say any of Lila's other MMCs are like mild. Like they're like Dusty from Wild and Wrangled was a little like on the softer side, but Brady is just like squishy.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's soft, you know? But they have like a really tender romance, which I think is what Collins needed.
You know who he kind of reminds me of? Did any of you guys read Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez? So he kind of reminds me of Xavier, not like word for word, but like in that same just like do anything for you, like that same.
Very much like an acts of service type of. Okay. No, I'm with you on that actually.
Like they'd be in the same circle.
Yeah, because if they were separated, I feel like he would have done what Xavier did to get to be with Collins. Yeah. But like, did you have any moments in particular, like where their romance kind of like hit you and you said, okay, I'm here with them. I really like this. I can see their like emotional journeys that they've been on.
Yes and no.
Okay.
I think just since they were together and just them kind of growing as friends too. And like when there's like a secret tunnel in like the town, that was pretty cool. And just like those little moments that they would do together, I really saw. And one of the lines in the song that I chose is, you know that I could never make this up. I found the reason I'm not giving up. I felt the fever when I knew he was mine. Oh, I'm going to love you for a long time. And I think that's just how they like keep going forward. And just that they couldn't, like where Collins like sees these ghosts and it could be like, you know, fake and made up and everything. But the love that they have is not something that she could make up.
Yeah, I really like that. And I think so. Another reason why I picked like The Fate of Ophelia is because of the like idea of death, specifically the late one night you dug me out of my grave and saved my heart from the fate of Ophelia, and also and if you'd never come for me I might have lingered in purgatory. So utilizing the metaphors of death in relation to like the ghost that Collins sees, Brady kind of breathes life and consequently death kind of back at her, because the way that she like, lights him on fire, or he lights her on fire, and the way that her soul kind of gets back and she's reconnected to death through the song. And I don't know. I like that kind of connection to the lyrics for both of them. And I think it fits on both sides of the coin.
There was one moment when Brady goes over to Boone's house. So their mom, Clark and Colin's mom, like moved to this town, didn't really have any family, and this like grumpy old man that lives on a farm like adopted her and is like their grandfather figure. And so Brady goes over to like help him, and he's like, at first he's like, wait, Boone is like a person that you like he's this grumpy old man. I hate talking to him. Yeah. But Brady goes over to help him, and they like form a bond, and they just kind of learn a little bit, and it just shows like Brady showing up for Collins in a way that like no one really has for her before. Yeah.
And I think Collins' like family conflict was fully like self-inflicted too. Like she like felt a certain type of way. It's not that her family felt a certain type of way, like the way that she like didn't want to talk to her sister, and she would intentionally kind of like pick these fights, and she avoided going back to like this antique store. And I think that it was really like her sense of failure kind of coming through. So when she saw someone who like showed up for her, and not just for her, but for someone that she cared about, even though he does not like Boone, and Boone kind of scares him a little bit. I think that was her first like real like softening moment where she's like, okay, like I can see this. Yeah, I really like that. Oh, I do want to talk about real quick at the when I saw Lyla Sage, I was curious about the why upholstery. Like, you're going to a small town, like why are we going to be an upholsterer? Like, what's
Very
going
attractive,
on?
you know,
Super attractive. And I mean, honestly,
profession.
like, I'm sure if I watched some like hot thirst trap on TikTok about an upholstery man, I would understand it.
Yeah.
I'm so confident.
Fair.
It probably exists. There's thirst traps for everything, unfortunately. But she did talk about like that she grew up around upholsterers, like her grandfather was one. And so that's why she like brought that into this book. So I did love that like emotional tie-in because I was a little confused.
Yeah, I thought it was very random.
Really cool, like photographer, and then he like puts fabric on chairs. Ooh.
Right.
Cool. Love that.
So, I mean, you guys really haven't read Rebel Blue Ranch, so
Perfect. So this is
it's just
Casey, this is for
this
you.
section is for the woman in the back.
Yeah.
So Boone, his family is in Meadowlark, where Rebel Blue Ranch takes place.
Yeah.
So we get to see a couple people from that town who are like two of the best characters in that series.
Yes.
So a little bit, we didn't talk about necessarily all of the stuff that's happening. We mentioned it. So the family businesses, the developers trying to buy them, and they like do some shady business practices, and the mom signs a pre-contract, which basically ties her into selling all of her properties.
Yeah, but they were very unclear about what
this
pre-contract was, and she had turned them down before, but they were very persistent about taking over these like small town developments.
So Boone is like, oh, my brother's granddaughter's mom. It's the best way I think to describe that, right,
Yeah.
Cam? Is a real estate lawyer. So they like hop on a Zoom call, and then you get to like see Amos and Cam, which was very exciting for those of when
I did audibly squeal when they came on the page. I was so excited. And like, if you end up reading Rebel Blue, you see, I think what she does really, really well in Rebel Blue is found family. Even though it's like a real family, there's something about it, like all the missing pieces kind of come together. So when I saw that, it did feel a little bit like coming home, like, oh, they're on the page, and I'm so excited that she like tied these worlds together.
She could get through the first book of the Rebel Blue series.
I don't
book
think
2 is best, though.
I don't think Dust is bad. I just think that the other 3 are significantly better.
Yeah,
But yeah, Settled is our collective favorite.
Yeah, I gasped too. I was reading it in bed, and my husband was sleeping, and I was like, and I've been reading a lot of like thrillers and horror. So he's like, "Did somebody die in your book?" And I'm like, "No, this is a good thing." He's like, "Okay, I didn't know if you'd be sad or not." And I'm like, "No, it's always a happy squeal. Like, go back to sleep. It's okay."
The fact that he immediately is like, who died?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, no, this is happily ever after. We're okay. We're all good. Another cool thing about this book is there's a lot of like secrets that they like share. And it's not like malicious secrets like, oh, I murdered your dog years ago or anything like that. But like it's a haunted town, so they have like little secrets. And one cool thing about their family business that a storm kind of ruined the shop, it's an antique shop. Mm-hmm. So with Collins and Clark, part of their ability, they can see these ghosts that are anchored to these old items. So that's how they kind of discovered their abilities, is like seeing those ghosts tied to those items.
Which is why I wanted more ghosts.
Yes. Hopefully Clark likes the store. Collins did not like the store.
He did not like the store. And again, I understand it was there for the arc, but that was my biggest, I just wanted more, you know? It's like, I don't know whoever I was talking to before, I just finished a random tangent, Girl Dinner by Olivia Blake. It is a satirical horror commentary, like political commentary, but it's literally about a sorority full of cannibals. And I know. It's satirical horror. It's not that gruesome, but like
I actually wrote it about our sorority.
Yeah, I did. It was like having a full visceral experience again. But my comment at the end was literally, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I did want more cannibalism. And that's how I feel about this one. Like, I think sometimes it's the way that they are marketed, because like you got to market the hook, right? She can talk to ghosts. Mm-hmm. The sorority girls are eating men. Like that's the hook. But I just wanted like a little more. Anyway, it was a great book. If you guys like satirical, like political commentary, highly recommend.
That's our next episode.
Oh, that is, yeah. And
I really like it. Yes, I know. I have an arc of it that I am just now reading.
Yeah, it's already published.
Yep. Oops. I drown in arcs.
I also have like 4 or 5 advanced readers copies. If you guys don't know, you can get them on. Anyone can get them, by the way. This is just now I'm on a tangent. But there's this place called like NetGalley. You can request them early. You don't necessarily have to have a platform, but there are also read nows available. Publishers will put up books that are available for like 24 hours or even list nows, and you can get them before their publish date. All you have to do is post a review. That's all that they ask. And so you can get books like months before they ever come out, and it's so cool. But I do have like 5 that I'm supposed to read and surely have not, but that's okay.
So back to the book.
Sure.
We go off on a lot of tangents. So there's a line in my song that I want to tie into kind of like how the relationship I see going forward. So it's, oh, don't slow down now, gonna break me down. Keep your hands in my hair, keep your mouth on my mouth. And just once they kind of like or the next line is like, don't slow down, don't slow this down, never let me go. And I just feel like once they kind of just let themselves like love each other, they're like, all right, let's go for it. Katya, have you heard Love You for a Long Time by Maggie Rogers? Thank you. I was like, I feel like Katya, but
no.
Nobody heard it. So thank you. Thank you for knowing it.
Yes.
I got my one person.
Yeah. No, I love that line. I really like, the more I look at it, the more I'm like, I definitely had the recency bias in The Fate of Ophelia, but like it fits. I still like it. But the last like line that I had pulled out of the song was, "'Tis locked inside my memory and only you possess the key, no longer drowning and deceived, all because you came for me." And I think that's the moment that Collins realizes that like her spiritual connection has come back. Like she could finally, like that tether that she has gets a little bit stronger, and then she can finally like fully see the forms of the ghost again, which I really loved.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to finish off with some quotes. Then we have some audience questions for those of you that have read the book.
Yes.
Or if you want to just make up an
or
answer.
just or you can talk. We'll yap about anything.
Yeah, whatever you have. So one of my favorite quotes. Well, actually, I'm going to start with more of a funny one. Is why 7-year-old me wanted to be visually impaired? Who knows? Because I guess it was a universal experience. Did anybody else want glasses really bad as a kid? Yeah. Yes, I have contacts now and I hate them. But so I just kind of like related to that. I was like, oh, oops.
Okay. I saw Hannah put this in the outline and I said, oh, I have to say the super embarrassing thing that I did as a child. So like I never needed braces, which I'm sure my parents think they've blessings. Like we don't have to pay for that shit. But for some reason, I really like loved the idea of getting to pick the color of your braces. And I don't know if anyone has ever eaten the terrible candy jujubes. But I literally remember like shoving them on my 2 front teeth. So I would have like colors, like candy on my teeth. First of all, what was I doing? But as soon as Hannah put that in there, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to share that, aren't I? Like, I don't have to, but we sure did. I had glasses. I guess I wanted braces too. My eyes are all sorts of up, so why not add to it?
I feel like as a kid, it's like personalization. Like, oh, cool glasses, cool braces colors.
Oh, look, I got to pick blue and yellow, and I got to do this. And I'm like, that's cool. Do I need braces? No. My parents are like, you will never need, don't need braces.
No, I felt bright and cheery. So.
What a journey that was.
Yes. Yeah. Like the juicy fruit wrappers, like for the gum. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
You can get back to your quotes.
Right. So then on the flip side, this is more of like a lovey, like romance book quote.
Oh, that's cute.
Most of all, I like the way he looked at me like I was a puzzle he was dying to solve instead of one he wished he could put back in the box.
Oh, I like that one.
And then my final quote, it's like a very short quote, but the whole scene I really liked. It's once Colin starts to get her abilities back and she talks to Ernest, who was kind of their like best friend ghost growing up, I would say. But she tells Ernest, like, I'm sorry about your home. And then he just replies, like, it's yours too, Collins. So talking about the antique store and everything like that, I think she finally realized, like, oh, yeah, this is my home. Like, this is where I want to stay with that.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I have 2 quotes. One is a little bit longer. And I just really understand that it's talking about the difference between longing and sadness. And it says, it wasn't like I couldn't understand in some way. I wasn't really sad when I came here, but I was searching for something that I didn't quite yet know if I'd found. I guess I felt more longing than sadness, but in my experience, longing kept me going and sadness kept me still, but they were 2 sides of the same coin. So I really love that quote. And then the last one, which I really brought a savior from Say You'll Remember Me, because this quote is from Brady, and it says, I'll go anywhere with you, Collins. I said, to the ends of the earth, back again, if you asked me to, which is very on brand with that, Abby Jimenez type of romance. So,
cool.
All right.
Does anyone have a favorite scene or moment from the book that we didn't mention?
Out of the 3 people that read it.
I know. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a note I put in here and I forgot to talk about it. So I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah.
There's a cool ghost, the lady in white, and she has this moment with Brady, and she I don't know, tries to give him a hug, but a ghost hug. I don't know, weird. And she but then they summon her by putting a sheet over Clark and Collins and telling secrets, and they find out that Ernest, how Ernest died and why he was doing it, and the closure was he was in love with the lady in white. So it was kind of that cool connection there.
Yeah, I really like that.
Too.
Any other ones?
You don't.
Direct eye contact.
You're on. I know. Just
on the spot.
No one has guessed on the next title though, right?
No one spotted it. I'm gonna scour this book. I was like, this is the one time I wish I had my Kindle, because it would be so much easier to try and search for something quickly on there. And then I looked and I was like, I already have the book and I got the audiobook. I'm not gonna pay for the Kindle book.
Yeah.
But I really want to find the title because I know what's in here. So I don't know. Oh, and also too, putting all 3 people on the spot that read it. Do you have a song or a lyric or anything that you feel like you would pick to resonate with soul searching? You can take a second because we've scour our brains before we come up with ours.
Yeah, that's really on the spot. My runner-up was "Honey" by Taylor Swift, which was also recent. C bias, so
she did change it last minute.
I did.
I just picked this one and called it good. Yeah. Oh, I like that. Yeah.
We do love Sabrina Carpenter.
We do also love Sabrina. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's fun. A lot of melodies get stuck in my head too. And that's one of the things that problems that we have with the pod is honestly song choice is the best part, but it's also the genuine hardest part, because sometimes we pick a song just for the general vibes. The lyrics don't.
One time I picked a song that was what they were listening to when they were driving their car.
Yeah.
It was nothing to do with the book.
What
they were listening to when they were driving.
Yeah. And sometimes it's hard because we'll find a song where the lyrics fit so perfectly, and then sometimes we pick one because I'm oh, this one line just got caught in my head and I couldn't let it go. But I just relate heavily music to that, and I love you can hear a little melody or something and it just sticks with you.
Yeah. I think somebody over here was talking about seeing the movie while you were reading, and so that's where we pick a lot of songs where I could see this in the movie adaptation, or in this scene this would be
the end credits.
Mm-hmm.
This here, and yeah. Perfect. All right. Ready to wrap it up?
Yeah. Anybody have any questions for us?
Anything else?
All right, cool.
All right.
Thank you so much for turning the pages with us this week. And a huge thank you to the owner of Mon Coeur Books, Miss Carolyn, for hosting us today. Be sure to follow at Mon Coeur Books on Instagram, Threads, Facebook, and TikTok, so you can see more of Pedro and Carolyn.
Yes.
Every month.
And stop by this gorgeous romance-only bookstore to pick up the next book that you'll fall in love with soon.
Yes, and please, please, please drop a review and a 5-star rating of the podcast on your preferred platform and share it with your bookish besties. And be sure to drop us a follow at Other Side of the Page Pod on Instagram, TikTok, Patreon, etc.
And our next episode will be yapping about sororities, cannibals, and hashtag girl dinner by Olivia Blake. And we have Carolyn here herself to help close out this chapter.
Don't worry, guys.
She has her script.
I have my
Her script.
Forever and always, keep reading with kindness.
Thank you.
Thank you.